Even at the end of the 20th century, no one would have thought that Titan could be made habitable for humans. But these days you can plant vegetables everywhere, even on gaseous planets. These kinds of statues are typical of Arcanide buildings outside of their divine empire. This Leviathan is probably pointing exactly in the direction of Thantor Lock, the globular cluster which constitutes the core of the Arcanide Empire. Hey, it's open. It looks as though someone was expecting me. Hello? Where's the welcome reception? Doesn't matter, I'll help myself. The exhibitions here are very much aimed at the masses. A good thing, too. Who would fly to Titan for the good of their education? I've not been here since the opening. That was... wow. That's almost 200 years gone by. Well, doesn't look like I'll be getting a tour today.
Welcome to the Thora's Museum of Intergalactic Relations. Our new exhibition, which will reveal the truth behind the myth of the Illochim, is not yet open to the public. But it would be an honor, dear visitor, to allow you a sneak preview of our exhibition today. We've therefore made a few of our attractions accessible especially for you today. We hope you enjoy discovering what is surely the Milky Way's most unresearched myth, the Illochim. Although we are unfortunately obliged to take a few measures to ensure everyone's security, I nevertheless wish you an enjoyable and informative visit.
That's the museum director himself. He doesn't look entirely sane. Great. It seems that my security is everyone's top priority today. The Arcanides really have created a memorial to Thora here. That would be unthinkable on Archon, but as a symbol of diplomacy, it's quite a good likeness. There's a switch on the floor here. Let's see what it does. Why can Thor's statue be lowered? There must be a reason for it. A transmitter field. That means that the rooms don't necessarily have to be architecturally connected. Instead, you can be beamed from one room to the next without noticing the transition. It only works that way inside closed buildings.
Dear visitor, this part of our exhibition, which illustrates the invasion of the Illochim and how they were driven out of what was then the Tyarch Tucson, the great empire by the Arcanides, is unfortunately not yet ready for visitors. The few exhibits you see here all originate from the mining moon Gom Calidus in the Gonom system. If the sparse mythical sources are to be believed, this was the only place where the Illochim and the Arcanides ever coexisted and traded, even temporarily. There is, however, no written evidence from that time to attest to the Illochim's presence. Everything we now know about their time in our galaxy has been reconstructed from later writings, drawings, and murals. We don't even have sufficient evidence to prove that these beings ever really existed. The clues provided by the myth are researched and evaluated using the most modern techniques. A considerable amount of this research into the myth is carried out by the Arcanide researchers and scientists. Since the Arcanides were, at the time, the only race whose technology was advanced enough to withstand the onslaught of the Illochim.
As long as these shields are surrounding the exhibited objects, it's impossible to touch them, much less pick them up. It could be worth trying to break through them, but that would require a fairly heavy object and a lot of energy. No welcome at the entrance, no exhibits. This myth doesn't seem to have much to offer. Oh no. That sounds like Mandra. I've got to help her. If Mandra's here, that means her kidnappers are here, and maybe this Cato too. I have no idea what this huge equipment could be used for. It seems to be out of order for the moment anyway. You can activate something from here, but I have no idea what.
In this room, most honored guest, we come to the actual subject of this exhibition, the Illochim themselves. The few artifacts which apparently bear witness to their presence in our galaxy have been collected from far and wide. While the origins of some of the artifacts displayed are known, others were discovered in ways and places as secret and mysterious as the Illochim themselves. It appears, however, that almost every race and every even semi-inhabitable celestial body came into contact with this myth over 10,000 years ago. It's like a mysterious thread, weaving its way through all our pasts and connecting us all.
The holoprojector can be tilted. Maybe I can use this to get the wing bones in the display. Blast. I need something to wedge the projector in this position.
Dear visitor, this part of the exhibition is designed to give you an impression of the technology which made the Arcanides into one of the Milky Way's great military powers as early as the 11th millennium Da'ark. This was the time of the Illochim myth, or, according to the Terran calendar, about 10,000 years ago. According to the myth, it was only these superior weapon systems which enabled us to finally drive the Illochim out of our beloved galaxy. Here, we provide you with a glimpse of the Arcanide scientists' extraordinary achievements. These successes have made the Milky Way what it is today, one of the great superpowers of the universe.
As long as these shields are surrounding the exhibited objects, it's impossible to touch them, much less pick them up. It could be worth trying to break through them, but that would require a fairly heavy object and a lot of energy. Thora had a dagger sword like that too. There are several pictures and other representations which portray her as a daggerista with her sword raised. That would go well with the statue outside too. Thora had a dagger sword like that too. Unfortunately, that wasn't a resounding success. This old tin can hasn't got enough momentum. A transmitter field. That means that the rooms don't necessarily have to be architecturally connected. If only everything in life were so easy. The Museum Cathedral. What an impressive space. And they say Arcanite architects have no imagination. These doors can be opened, but unfortunately not by hand. A contact tile. I would expect it to trigger something. That's shut too. I should have guessed. A fairly ancient positronic lock. I'd need the right kind of key to open it. Another contact tile. Perhaps the two of them are linked together. Unfortunately, that'll be hard for me to test on my own. These doors can be opened, but unfortunately not by hand. These switches are jammed. They can't be moved.